Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. My name is Jesse Milestone, and it's starting to come to my attention that I'm in an abusive relationship. And no. I'm not talking about my relationship with Jeff, my boyfriend. No, he's not abusive. He's wonderful. He's delightful. He's a gem. So please don't everyone freak out and go, oh my God, Jesse, Jesse, because it's not what I'm talking about. Abusive relationships are not just with significant others. They can be. It can be with spouses. They can be with friends. They can be in employment relationships. No, my abusive relationship is with YouTube. And you've heard me bring this up a little bit here and there, but if you want to know really, truly, deeply why I am so done, here it is. Now tell me if this doesn't sound like an abusive relationship to you. Okay, because here we go. So, you get to know somebody, right? You get to know them. Everything's going great. They let you be who you are. They seem to love you for it. Everything you do is great and wonderful. And then you sort of take that next step of commitment, right? And everything changes. All of a sudden, there's this mysterious standard that you will never live up to, and you're constantly punished when you fail to do so. You see their friends do certain things that make them very, very happy. Whenever you do the same things, you just bring their wrath down upon your shoulders for it, right? You're set up in these little games, these little traps, where there's no right answer, where if you do one thing right, you're fucking something else up, and vice versa, and there's just no way out of it, and you're always just failing and falling short. Yeah, you need this person. You get in a place where you need them, and they just don't give a shit about you. They could leave you at any moment, any second, and you'll be totally fucked, and they'll be completely fine. Now tell me, does that not sound like an abusive situation? Does that not? Now look, I should have seen the warning signs. We had a huge fight last year over live streaming, right? Because this is a thing, right? You start to learn more and more about your significant as time goes on. This is just one of those things. Sometimes you learn something about somebody, you weren't expecting it, you weren't ready for it, right? You didn't know you hit on a sensitivity that you didn't know was there, and some big blowout happens as a result of it, and you do your best to make amends. You worked really hard to do it, but they're just not ready to forgive you. And you know what? That's fine. So here's the thing that I didn't know at the time, was that audience retention, the percentage of the video that somebody watches, is the most important thing to pleasing this mysterious YouTube algorithm. But I had no idea at the time, so I fucked that up by doing a bunch of live streams and not doing a lot of regular content during a certain period of time, and it tanked my channel for most of the rest of that year, for half a fucking year. And okay, I get it, I've done wrong, I'm in the doghouse now, I have to work my way out of it, I have to do that, that's fine, but we got out of it, we were good, everything was great. It's like, okay, we worked past that, we're golden. And I got to a point earlier this year where in the spring, where my revenue, my primary source of revenue, my primary income, the money that I live on, was coming from YouTube, which was awesome. It was great. It was delightful. Everything was going well. You know, you had good days and better days and worse days, but for the most part, it was a happy, positive, healthy relationship. And then it all blew up in my face again right around the same time, but for no reason. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything different. And all of a sudden now I'm being punished for some mysterious crime that I don't even know existed. And I'm getting advice. I'm doing everything during last year's rut, during this year's rut. It's been the same damn thing of I'll do something that someone swears by. This works for them 100% of the time, and I do it. And at best, I see no difference. You know, when I worked to change my titles to make them catchier, when I changed my thumbnails from being just a random freeze from my face going like this to something, you know, with more pizzazz, nothing really changed. If you go through, and I've gone through and I've lined them up next to each other, the overall long-term analytics have not improved since I've started doing those things. I think they're fun. I like flashy title cards. They're exciting, but I don't necessarily do anything for my channel. So yeah, and then there were other things I would do. Oh, post at a regular time, post in the morning, post in the evening, do this kind of thing, do a premiere, do this. Things that were working well for a lot of my friends they're like, oh, they swore by this is what skyrocketed the channel, this is what boosted their views, this is what boosted their revenue. I would do those things, and it would just hurt my channel even more. So what the actual fuck, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing wrong ever. It's like this ridiculous, impossible standard, and can't, and so I'm looking into this, right? You know, you ask around, you start talking to your friends, you find out what gives, you find out some history, you start to find out some really interesting details. So we talked about this audience retention score, right? Since just before I started YouTube was right around the time there was the last big algorithm overhaul that changed a whole bunch of things. Before that, YouTube prioritized things like views, numbers of subscribers in terms of as the engagement scores that mattered most to boosting your algorithm. Now, if you're not, what's this algorithm thing? Well, everything big, a big server site like this, it's not all done by hand, hand-on oversight. There's a mathematical algorithm they plug in based on what the people want to see and what YouTube wants to promote. And if you're in that sweet spot where you're meeting both of those criteria, then YouTube automatically promotes you very often. It'll put you as a lot of recommended videos. You'll pop up on people's homepages. People who subscribe to you will get notifications more if they have, personalized recommendations on. You'll get recommended for them far more often, right? So this mysterious algorithm. So this algorithm shift, this last big shift, we shifted over to audience retention being the most important factor in keeping people coming back over and over again. If people were watching 50% or more of your videos, you're in good shape. If they're watching less, not so much. If you're hitting at 75% or more, goddamn, you're a fucking hero. Now, here's the fun part, all right? Doing some research, which is not that difficult to conduct, right? This is really easy search engine optimization research. People saw clearly, clear as day, over a variety of different topics, the time that YouTube likes the best, that will most commonly promote on its page, are videos that are averaging 14 plus minutes in length, so 14 and a half or more minutes in length is what YouTube likes to see. If you do that, it doesn't matter if you're the smaller channel, if you don't have the best tags on it, if you don't have the most subscribers, you don't have the most views on your videos, or even on that particular video, if you're hitting that sweet spot of 14 minutes and over, YouTube likes you and you're more likely to get recommended on the first page in your, if for keywords relating to your title and your video. Hooray. That's great. You can work with that. But you take the same information about the average amount of time that a given human watches any given YouTube video, and that rings in at just over 2 minutes. There's a disconnect here. So how do I do that? How do I please both of these figures? Because if I'm putting out 14-minute videos and people are coming and only watching 2 of those minutes, I'm not a math expert, but even I can do that simple calculation to realize that that's not great audience retention. So if I want to get out there and have my videos be seen by people and be recommended by YouTube, I need to make them really long. But in order to get people to actually fucking watch them, to have YouTube continue to care about me and not go, oh, I guess you suck, nobody wants to watch your channel, fuck you and your algorithm, I have to make them 2 minutes or less. Those two things are not compatible concepts. How am I supposed to do this? How am I supposed to fucking please you, YouTube? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. Make up your mind. What do you want? Do you want to make me to make you happy, or do you want me to make your fucking fans happy? Because I can't do both. It's the system is skewed. It's set up towards people, and this is really a lot of these changes how they are. People like me. I'm just too ordinary. YouTube doesn't love people like me anymore. Now that they're all this huge big shot with all this money and all this notoriety, all these big users on their platform, ordinary, regular people like me just aren't exciting enough for YouTube. No, I need to already have some sort of gigantic, established, rabid fan base so that I can put up a 15-minute video and have everyone just grossly entranced for all 15 fucking minutes of that. Otherwise, I should just stick to 1.5-minute cat videos that people are going to click through and love and go crazy. Or maybe I'll do that. Maybe should be my cat channel. Yes, I'm angry. I just broke my tripod. Now I can't smash my hands if I don't fix this. I'm gonna fix it. Fuck you, YouTube. You did this. Blaming YouTube for my problems. This is what happens. So the bottom line is, no, I'm not gonna play these stupid little head games. I don't do that shit, right? Because what happens when you get into an abusive relationship? What are you supposed to do when you realize you're being abused? You get the fuck out. So that's what I'm going to do, right? And it took a long time. Sorry, my hand everywhere because I just messed up this camera horribly. This is what happens. YouTube makes me, this is what happens. When you allow yourself to be in an abusive relationship for too long, it turns you into the kind of person you don't want to be. It makes you ugly. I don't want to be this ugly person. I want to be happy. I want to be happy. I want to be fun. I want to yell in the ways that are cathartic and enjoyable, not in the ways that make me go, God damn, stop fucking with my livelihood. So, in the interest of that, this is why I'm turning to Patreon. Patreon, look, it ain't perfect. Everyone has their flaws. Nobody's perfect. And I understand some people's trepidations on the platform, but the reality is that I can only judge people and, internet platforms as to how they've treated me. And Patreon so far has been good to me. Has no reason not to be good to me, so you know what? I'll be good to it. Which is why, for those of you who have been paying attention, you already know this. For those who are learning this now, a lot of my content is moving over there. A lot of the regular ranting, raving, screaming, whatever's, and actually right now, tonight, you can go on there. And so just in my $1 tier, you're going to get 2 videos a week. You're going to get your Social Justice Wednesday, and you're going to get another video of my choosing made public for your pleasure on Patreon for just $1 a week. For $2 a week, you're going to get all of the content I used to put on YouTube on there. Now, that's not to say my YouTube channel is going away. I know everybody wants to be on Patreon. I'm fairly certain most people who have the luxury of utilizing the internet can probably spare $1 a a month, $2 a month. Even I can spread that. I'm poor as shit. So so if you like this content, you don't want to see it go away, that's where it's going to be housing. That's where a lot of it's going to be housing. If you, for some reason, can't be on Patreon, you'll still get some of it here. You'll still get, little tidbits here and there. I'm going to be putting some new stuff up on here. I'm going to be working out, you'll hear just later this week, I'm going to be throwing up another, a fun new concept that I'm actually bringing back, old concept I'm bringing back onto this channel, so that'll be there. But other than that, so it'll be on here, but there'll be stuff on here, I'm not going away, I'm not dying, I'm not taking it all away from you. My Rise of Skywalker review is still going to land here, I'm still going to bring some of my Star Wars news up here, but if you want, and that's the other beauty of Patreon, right? Patreon doesn't ask me to be something that I'm not. I don't have to censor myself for Patreon. You want to hear the ranting, the raving, the full-on screaming, and in fact, if you go over to Patreon tonight, like I was saying, or like I was starting to say earlier, you are going to get the full-on rage of the absolute worst part of the Charlie's Angels movie, which I did unfortunately see. My friend dragged. Hello, awkward jump cut, because in addition to YouTube hating me, my phone also does, which is probably a good thing that I'm going to try to get a new phone tomorrow, because it's really weird, just like cut out for no reason, it's like you're not even, the storage isn't even full, we just hate you. Maybe my phone is conspiring with YouTube, maybe they're both working against me. Anyway, what I was saying is I tried to see Charlie's Angels, and yeah, it was bad. And the worst part was, like, it didn't have to be, like, it was actually, had all the things where it could have been good, and it wasn't, it was bad instead. So if you want to hear me scream about that, that's on Patreon tonight. Plus a whole bunch more yelling that'll be there for your pleasure this week. But like I said, there'll still be stuff going on here. So make sure you're still subscribed. Make sure you'll press the like button, especially if you enjoyed this video. If you want to stick it, like this video to stick it to YouTube. And make sure your notifications are on so that if you are still following on here, you get all that stuff. You get all the fun, wacky stuff that's going to get posted on here. And you get to know if there's anything special or exclusive that might actually draw your eye over to Patreon, for any particular reason. And yeah, you can click get involved with me to find other ways to support this channel, help it grow. That's my Teespring. I got a new design coming out really soon. It's going to be really exciting, possibly as early as tonight. And, follow me on social media. You can support me on PayPal. Follow social media, Mindless Entertainment on Instagram, at Jesse Milestone on Twitter. There's also the at Team Jesse Twitter account. That's the official Jesse Milestone fan account. We're doing a lot more with that account moving forwards and all the Jesse personalities in the new year. So make sure you're following that. Also, make sure you're subscribed to LA Cheesesteak Reviews. It's the show I'm working on with my fellow Philly transplants to try to find a decent cheesesteak in LA. Largely failing. Hilarity ensues. Whew, that's a mouthful. Anyway, love you guys. God Empress out.